how powerful is a testimony, man? That encouraged him. Powerful story, he said, all the way across the country. By the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, we shall overcome the enemy.
Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
Do you believe in life after addiction? You better believe it. Now, the host of Life After Addiction.
Boom, shakalaka.
Welcome back to another episode of Life After Addiction.
Yes, sir.
Today, we're gonna go straight into it. We might as well.
Yeah, but let's plug the
we gotta plug
alumni retreat coming up. He'll pull up the little graphic right here. August 29th is going to be worship night.
Yep.
Man, this team that's doing worship night has already done one for us a couple months ago, and it was fantastic. We have guys that are coming in, flying in, driving in. Man, it's going to be awesome. I really encourage you, be here Thursday night. Friday is going to be a golf tournament. You're going to need to email r.chittister@springtolife.net to make sure you let him know you're playing. Deadline's coming up. By the time this comes out, you might be too late.
It's probably too late.
But make sure you email him. That's always a fun time, man. We're going to have some really good prizes this year. We've got some cool stuff happening, man. It's just fun to get out there and mess with each other, man. I remember I think Carl, you remember old Carl?
Okay, Crizzy, dude.
Him and his dad up there just with a cigar up there. And then they were playing in front of us, and we pull up over this hill, approaching a hole, and there's 300 golf balls in the middle of the fairway. And they just dumped all these things out so we couldn't find our ball. And I was like, what a move. And they're just up on the hill smoking cigar. Hey! Oh, man. It was pretty funny. Looking
my
back.
dad and I had no idea that was going to happen. So, we get done hitting our shots, and we're all about to pull off, and Carl runs to his cart. And, I mean, 2 massive buckets he just throws out into the fairway. And I'm just like, golfers etiquette and stuff, I'm just like,
because we were hitting to that area but couldn't see. It was like out of a line of sight from the tee box. And so we pull over the hill and there's 50 golf balls. It's like, what? So was it junior or senior, Carl?
Senior.
Okay, that makes sense.
Did you just find out it was senior
I
right now?
kind of had a feeling, but when he said Carl just then, I was like, Carl?
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot both of them were named Carl.
Yeah, it was a good time, though.
So anyways, it's always a fun time. That's the end of this month, beginning of next month. So make sure you let us know you're coming. Email Chitty. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. Let's dive right in.
All right, so today Carlos has prepared for us a responding to your comments episode. So we appreciate when you guys comment. We appreciate when you guys like, subscribe. It really does just encourage us to know that anything that we've ever said could have possibly encouraged you, brought you some hope, shed light on something that was, important to you. Any sort of encouragement you've ever received from us, we appreciate. So he has some comments that we are going to respond to. What's the other one we do like this?
Reaction.
Okay,
Reaction.
so this is going to be a little different. We're just going to, I guess, respond to the comments that Carlos has picked for us.
Yeah, and so if you watched last week's episode, we talked about dependence, the importance of identifying what you're dependent on. Does it have its hooks in you? How to get out of that? How to become fully dependent on God? And so the first comment that we're going to respond to, should we say the names or just what do y'all think?
Nah, probably. I would probably just do
Okay. So here's a comment. It says, "So you're just replacing dependence from one thing to another. So you're just replacing dependence from one thing to another." My response to that is, I guess not my reaction, because my response to that is it's not replacing dependence from one thing to another. It's putting your dependence on the thing.
Yeah.
The creator of all things, the one who spoke all things into existence, from nothing burst forth everything, because this thing, this God, spoke. And so he created us in his image. He holds the world together by the word of his power. And so when we're saying it's not just exchanging, it's clear that your view on God is not the same as my view, because otherwise you wouldn't have asked the question in that category. My view of God, and go back and watch that episode. It was great. We kind of talk about freedom in Christ and why you should have dependence in this and what happens if you don't. So if I reformed your question or I reshaped it, I would say, so you're putting your dependence in the proper place. That's what we would say. It's not just exchanging it from one thing to another, because that belittles the power of God. And let me read this, man. This is Colossians chapter 1, verse 15 and on. I'll probably stop somewhere along there. But it says this about Christ. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body of the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in everything he might be preeminent. For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. And you, who once were alienated and hostile in mind, doing evil deeds, he is now reconciled in his body of flesh by his death, in order to present you holy and blameless and above reproach before him. Now, the reason that's so, man, I don't know how far we want to go, and this is the first comment. That's not just exchanging dependence from one thing to another. That's preeminent, that's sovereign, that's our God who spoke all things, holds all things, reconciled me from my evil deeds that I once did, and provided a way for me to have peace with God and have perfection and righteousness that's seen by God, because the thing is God says, be perfect. Your Father in heaven is perfect. You must be perfect. And then Jesus paid for that perfection. He says that my sin is exchanged for his perfection. And so it's not just some dependence, one thing for another. You're going from nicotine to, or from cigarettes to vaping. It's not that. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just simply, like he said, it's being reconciled back to the creator of the heaven and the earth, and having a relationship with God. And that's by way of Jesus Christ. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through him. And it's a better life than you could ever dream of.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one. This is a long one. This says, real question. What if you're an atheist with a degree in religious studies that is going through these problems? What if you have read many versions of the Bible and the Quran and the Gita and the Poetic Eddas? What if you love and disdain every story equally because they are all both beautiful and harmful, and you have sung choir in a church and prayed in a mosque, but only for a pure love of social ritual, poetry, and song? I love all religions, which sort of precludes me actually believing in one such as I would love to. Thoughts? So that's a little bit all over the place.
And I think we should try to answer this. We won't say the name again, I guess. I don't know how he's going to put this up. But I think we should take this at face value, and he's actually saying real question, like he's wanting to know, and he's not being haughty. That's how I want to try to answer him. But there is a lot there. But I think he's saying real question, like, hey, I'm genuinely, what are your thoughts on my stance and my worldview, which is basically all roads lead. Well, he said atheists. I don't know where all roads lead, but he loves all religions because of the social, ritual, poetry, and song. And he's asking us what our thoughts are with that, I guess. My thoughts are, well, go ahead. You were going. Or unless you want me to go.
Go ahead. I'll go after you.
My thoughts are, if I'm honest, my first thoughts are, man, I pray that God saves your soul. I pray that he removes the veil and that you see the beauty of who he is and what he's done. That's my first thought. My thoughts on the question that you ask about what I think about your worldview. I think it's fine to see beauty in other things. I think there's definitely beauty in encouragement that you could find in anything, whether it be multiple different religions, and you said poetry and the social ritual. I think it's okay to enjoy the fellowship of a community, but I think that you're missing everything that those religions, including Christianity, is trying to say because you self-proclaim to be an atheist. I think if you were, I don't want to do this. I think your worldview is flawed when you believe that everything came from nothing and it wasn't by creative design. That doesn't make sense. There has to be miraculous something there that happened. And so I think you're longing for something. I think that's a part of your nature. As I said, all humans are created in his image. Not all humans are in his family, but all humans are created in his image. And I think by nature you are drawn to certain things, and you should explore that.
Yeah, I would just say logistically, like the action point for this and my thoughts would just be to get plugged into a Bible teaching church and ask one of the pastors or one of the mature believers there to disciple you for a year, right? Jeremiah 29:13, if you seek the Lord with all your heart, you will find him. So, yeah, I believe if you were sat under somebody's teaching, a pastor or somebody who is mature in their faith at a church for a year, you were genuinely seeking the things of God. You were genuinely desiring to know God, reading your word, praying, fellowshipping with other believers. I believe you would come to a knowledge of the truth by doing so.
Yeah, and just to be clear, and I don't want to beat you up too much, but Carlos is saying we got 30 more comments. But when when I say there's a flaw in your worldview, because I say from nothing burst forth everything because he spoke. You say from nothing burst forth everything. And so I think you actually have to have more faith than I do, because I have a reason for why this happened. In fact, if we go to Genesis, we could see it very clearly. Let there be light. And he talks about creation specifically. And then also, man, I just want to challenge you, as you do, if you do take Chitty's advice, really let your pride stay, because you wanted to be sure that you mentioned in the comment that you have a degree in religion and that you are a pretty deep thinker. So if you do take on the things that he said, do it humbly, do it genuinely, just to search. Moving on. Was it me? I'm glad.
Yep.
I'm glad that religion helped you, but I think telling people that golly, Carlos is just bang, 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 isn't he? I'm glad that religion helps you, but I think telling people that only God can fill the hole in people is incredibly dangerous, because there are many different ways out of addiction, and acting like there's only one is very harmful for people trying to get better. Well, I think that your question is a straw man, because you started off. I can address these, but you're packaging it different. You're saying you think it's dangerous. You think you're glad that religion helped us, but telling people that only God could fill a hole in people is incredibly dangerous. But then you go and saying it's the only way out of addiction. There's only one way out of addiction is harmful as well. So, that's two separate things, and we would say both, that filling the hole, but also out of addiction truly to find freedom is the best way, not sobriety. I'll give you my definition of those. I believe that sobriety is people that are not doing drugs. Like you said, there's many ways out of addiction. Sobriety is someone who is not doing the drugs. They're white-knuckling it through life because of the consequences of those things. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want legal issues. I don't want to keep my family intact. I don't like the negative things that come from this, so I'm just not going to do this, and I'm sober. We believe freedom in Christ. Freedom is different, and the fact that God renews our mind, begins to change us, draws us to him, sanctifies us, all of the churchy words that we can explain if you'd like. I'm just trying to do this peacefully. That God changes us, that we just don't want to do those things anymore. Not because of the negative jail or whatever. Yeah, of course. But it's like God's changed us, man. That's like vomit on the floor, and we're not going to return to that, because God's renewed us and he's equipped us. He's set us free. He's given us new purpose, new vision, new tools to fight this, the Spirit of God. And so I think that's the difference. And I think it's dangerous not to tell people that.
Yeah. I'll comment on that just briefly. Yeah, I would say it's dangerous to tell people that only God can fill that hole in people's heart. It's true though, there is a supernatural peace, purpose that comes from knowing God. And there is a God-sized hole in every person, and you don't really necessarily realize that, I guess, until you come to him and until you know him personally. But the supernatural purpose and peace that the Lord gives you is unlike anything in this world. And then are there some different ways out of addiction? Sure. But, finding the Lord is not just about me simply not doing drugs and not getting high anymore. Like I said, he gave my life peace. He gave my life purpose. He gave my life value. He gave my life a calling. The way I love people, the way I treat people, the way I talk, the way I think, the way I act, everything about me changed. It wasn't just simply I stopped drinking or getting high or so. It goes way beyond just merely addiction. Like my life was radically transformed in every way because of the Lord. So,
Yeah.
all right, next one. Powerful story, Aaron. This was on Aaron, our staff member Aaron's testimony. Powerful story, Aaron. When we were in high school, especially freshman year, I had no idea what you were dealing with. We were just kids and didn't consider that someone was possibly going through something when they act differently, especially towards us. I knew you had it in you that you would someday change. We have came to our senses that there is so much more to life.
Oh, man, that's cool. That's cool. So that's someone who went to high school with Aaron. So just so you know, S2L's headquarters is in Middle Tennessee. Aaron and this gentleman went to high school in San Francisco or San Diego, California? San Diego, California. And him seeing this, that's pretty cool. But also, man, I just want to touch how powerful is a testimony, man, that encouraged him. Powerful story, he said, all the way across the country. By the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, we shall overcome the enemy.
Yeah, it's cool to see that his story is impacting other people that he went to high school with, and they see the joy and the light of the Lord in him. So praise God for that.
Yes. Awesome. On to the next one. Are we doing that one?
Let's go.
Okay. Can we talk about who this is?
I mean, if you want.
So this person put great podcast, and I think he was responding. I don't know what episode, but he also says, congratulations on Tennessee's championship. You know, obviously, as a follower who's listened to the College World Series debate, the fun that we had. And oh, by the way, this is another question he's answering. I think Chitty asked, hey, let's ask the people who lies more, me or you, because we joke about lying.
Yeah, I did, huh?
Yeah.
That's, okay, so they're literally answering a question.
Yeah, and so this person answered, oh, by the way, I think the ratio is 60-40 for the line, and we know who the 60 is. Wink, wink, smile. Love y'all, including you, Carlos. Have a great weekend. Who was that?
So now we'll comment on the comment of who do you think the 60% was and who do you think the 40% was. Leave a comment who the bigger liar is, who is the 60% liar, and who is the 40% liar.
I think we know because of who left the comment.
We'll keep that anonymous.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, hey, help us out here. It's all good. It's all fun. He's not. Hey, in all seriousness, he doesn't lie. If we joke, we know each other are joking. It's part of the bit. He's an honest man, high integrity.
The bits are great, though, dude.
Yeah,
we're going to keep the bits going.
High integrity man, and he's an honest man. All right. Listen.
Did
I read that one or you?
Go ahead.
No, I just read that one.
This one says, listening to this song while drunk, knowing I need to quit.
Yeah, and that was
It is
Dear
really
Alcohol.
bringing tears to my eyes.
And so that was a comment on the Dear Alcohol reaction that we got, our reaction video that we did a while ago. But those seemed the Dax ones, and sometimes some of the other ones, the Oliver, Anthony, and then even NF. It's kind of older when you might. But we seem to get comments pretty regularly from those. But yeah.
We're praying for you. I don't know if this was a man or a woman, but we are praying for you.
Man,
I would reach out and seek the help that you desperately need. I really would. I would call a friend, tell a family member, if you have a wife, if you have a husband, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, tell somebody who is close to you in your life that you need help. Today is the day to get the help that you need. I can't tell you how many times I was going to quit tomorrow, and then 5 years would go by and 10 years would go by of tomorrows. So today's the day you should reach out to somebody and get the help that you need. There are so many good programs that you can go to, and freedom from addiction is possible. So don't lose hope, but you do need to get help. You need to go to a facility and get treatment for the addiction, preferably Christ-centered, but nonetheless, if you're as desperate as you seem, just go to a program, period. And true freedom is only found in Christ. But yeah, I would encourage you to get the help that you need today.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll just add to that, man. So it's obvious that you are in a place that you want to change, that you want to get help, because you literally said that you're crying while watching this song. And so you just hate the way that things are going in your life with drinking and being drunk. But then also you commented on it, on this thing. So, man, I just think I encourage you as he did. There is hope. Today is the day. Don't wait. Everything in you is going to tell you why you should not go, even though you're deep in your soul knows that you should. And sometimes you just have to shut all the noise down and start walking in the direction. Make a phone call that will put it in motion. So, all right, Mom. Edit that out. Edit that out. Well, this is a nice comment, but we weren't saying people's handles. This says, I guess at minute mark 10:19 of Dax, another one of Dax's songs. This is a couple hours ago, I guess. It says, "Thank you. I prayed this morning, and then came directly across your channel. Peace and blessings from." It's so small. Is that Great Britain? London? Okay. Awesome, man. Overseas, baby. I mean, Great Britain. What?
He needs to put the flag up that y'all are guessing what it is in actual post.
Well, I don't know that London has a flag. I think that's Great Britain. Okay. London might. But hey, thank you so much. That's so encouraging, and that's so cool. Obviously, God is always on time. You were praying this morning, and if this encouraged you, what is it? Australia? Oh, good eye, mate. Even better. Are you sure that's Australian?
That's hilarious.
But look at Great Britain. That looks pretty close.
Yeah, that's awesome that our podcasts are making it across the pond.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so Australia, thank you so much. I don't know why we said Great Britain.
Shout out London and Great Britain, regardless, though.
Great
these
guys
too. Obviously
but,
don't know flags.
We really appreciate it. I think we had some people from Australia on the podcast.
Oh, we did. I forgot about that.
The episode messed up, and we haven't been able to get her back on. But she did come. They flew here, and we met her.
It never dropped?
I don't think so. Because remember, her internet kept going out. I felt
like that was a really good podcast, too.
I did, too. I don't know.
Shout out to her. What was her name?
I can't remember. I mean, I'll have to go and look. But she was from Australia.
Shout out to our Australian friend.
She was doing big things.
Yeah, she's
awesome.
awesome.
Her and her husband,
I'm
friends with on social media. But all right, last question.
All right, this says Isaiah really is terrible at ping pong, and this is we can shout out our buddy. This is from our buddy Josh, who came through the program. So he must be talking from experience. I don't know if he played him and beat him, he's commenting on
the video of him playing.
Okay. Yeah. So Isaiah got beat in his
Speaking of that, did y'all ever play?
No.
Oh, wow. So, hey, if you haven't watched the vlog or back to kind of just – it's all on this channel. The vlog is every other Monday, and then the Monday that it's not is when those testimonials like Aaron's that we talked about are on. Man, go show those some love, like those, share those. Those are powerful. But in the vlog, there was a big challenge that Chitty and Isaiah were supposed to play pickleball, and – I don't know if Isaiah's scared.
Can we do a wager? Like if I beat Isaiah, y'all give me 500 and vice versa?
If you beat Isaiah, here's the wager. If you beat Isaiah, you take over his vlog for 4 weeks. No, if he beats you.
That's a burden for me.
Oh. Well, you and your wife, day in a life.
No.
He's got the gear.
500.
He's got the gear and everything.
Cash.
Why am I involved in this? What are we talking about? Me?
Carlos agreed behind camera.
So what does he get?
I'll give him 500 if he beats me.
Y'all work that out. I don't think gambling's the way to go, but that was another form of dishonesty. He would have never paid him $500 if he beat him.
Listen, when you're certain of bets and you know you're going to win,
sounds like a
true
gambling addict.
Dude, that's actually something.
It's actually not gambling if you know you're going to win.
He said it, not me. I think there's one more.
Okay.
It just popped up.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It says, wait, in the comment. Like he's yelling, wait. You guys branded your own seasoning? Hey, how about that? We did. It's called Get 'Em to the Cabin. If you don't know, this was made by a staff member, also came through the program. And a part of one of our phase 2 is called Cabin, the Cabin program. And so he was, this staff member was cooking and doing a lot of things for one of the things. And he really wanted guys to extend and go to phase 2. So he made spices called Get 'Em to the Cabin. We have peppered lime, and this is like the third. He tried it. It was good. Tried another version, and this is the final. It's really good stuff. We got peppered lime, which is my favorite, and then On Fire. And I like heat too, but something about the flavor he did with the pepper lime. So, yeah, you can get them at s2l.net.
I don't think I've had the peppered lime.
And actually, we can bust this one open. And actually, on every single one of these, it has a little scan, and it's a different testimony that we have. We have 4 or 5 now, and we have 4, 5, 6 that we're still looking to record and stuff like that. But But yeah, just something you could scan and see a cool encouragement video. That's all I got. You want to try it on camera?
I can. Bust it out.
We got to take this out of the inventory.
Live test.
That's really good.
It is good.
That lime.
That would be super good on chicken
Oh yeah.
or steak
French fries,
or hamburger.
onion rings,
French fries, onion rings,
tater tots.
tater tots, pizza. Yeah.
And you will become a superpower and you'll be able to fly. Or if Chitty's favorite superpower to be able to sing,
Yes.
which I just learned.
There's
recently.
currently four Olympic athletes for the USA who won a gold medal this
because
year.
they
Training with this seasoning
with this seasoning.
specifically.
That is
So
true.
I'm not going to give out the names of what Olympic athletes they were, but
yeah,
they know how powerful this was.
yeah, and so they're trying to keep us. Trying
And
to
it's
buy us
not
out
our
of stock.
story; it's theirs.
It is theirs. Well, so it's theirs to tell.
Right? It's theirs.
It's theirs to tell.
We won't
But
even mention it.
But they are trying to buy us out of stock.
They
I'm like,
are.
no, guys, we got to keep it for the podcast people. But
That's right.
Awesome. Good episode. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please go do that. A lot of the people that listen to these, 70% of people listen to videos aren't subscribed. So go and listen to subscribe. Appreciate you. God bless. That's Life After Addiction. And you better believe it.
Come on.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Life After Addiction. Life After Addiction is a production of S2L Studio. For more Christ-centered addiction recovery resources, please visit s2l.net. That's S2L.net. For more information about S2L's licensed and accredited residential program, please visit s2lrecovery.org. That's S2L recovery.org.